The first topic I want to cover is the market of 2022. So we did this same thing last year, March and April. We did two of these in 2021. And it kicked off the next 3 months for us greatly. With the realtors that we had here, we had an entire team here, of which we do a lot of business with that team still. We'll be having a separate meeting with that team, but we've done a lot of stuff just from this meeting. Strategies that we talked about on those 2 days, we're still employing today. Some stuff they taught us, some stuff we taught them, and that's the whole point. So the market of 2022, if we're gonna compare to 2021, I think values are still high. Values have not truly changed. There might be some deviation, increases, decreases here and there. Now that spring is starting, we're gonna have the normal spring effect, but values, I would say, are pretty similar effect when it comes to 2021. What's really changed is the mindset for people because of the economy and because of rising interest rates. Rising interest rates, there's two things happening. There's people saying, what's gonna happen with home values? Should I buy now? Then there's people saying, what's going on with the interest rates? Should I buy now because rates are gonna go up? And I wanna cover both those items. At the end of the day, we believe that someone should buy a home when they're ready to buy a home. I don't think anyone, any family, who here has children? So we got 5 people here with children. We got a lot of people here with children. So if you're gonna buy, I don't think any of you, when you bought your home, were saying, is the market up, is the market down, or maybe you did, but when you got emotionally attached to your home purchase, it was because you liked the house. It wasn't because values were up or down. It wasn't because the interest rate was 5% instead of 4% or 3%. It was you and your spouse looked at the home, and you're like, we like this home, and we're gonna get the home. And now that I decided I'm gonna get the home, what is the best deal I could get today? Now, that's our job. It's our job to see, when I say our job, I mean all of us here. It's our job to see that when the client is getting emotionally attached to a home and you see that this is the home that they're actually looking for, it's our job to push, to apply the right kind of pressure, right? To get them to close on that deal. Because people get in their own way. I want to wait till the values go down. The value's going to go down by 100,000 in the next year. I want to wait for that. I want to do it now because the rates are going to go up. We also don't want a person to make a purchase, the wrong purchase, just because they're scared that the rates are going to go up, right? So our job is to see, you know your clients, you know what qualifying questions you asked. What is this home matching what you're looking for? And if so, if energetically you and the clients are seeing that that's what they should get, we get involved with you to apply the right pressure to get it done. I can use one example with us, with client, I'm not gonna name any names, but our client that we had recently, where that's what they wanted. You actually came to us with the offer already accepted, which we appreciate. So I'm gonna assume once you've seen that, you close on that deal right away. You made it happen. Amara, getting married soon. Got one of her deals recently. Once the home was in sight, there was a lot of homes we looked at. Me and Sylvia, who were working with Amara on the deal, when we seen that this is the home that they should be getting, we try to come and apply additional pressure to get it done, like the client we're working on right now as well. But we over here depend on you guys to kind of give us that information. We're gonna ask the client how they feel about the home, but if you're like, no, or yes, they're kind of shielding themselves, this is what they need to do, we're gonna apply the pressure. So the first point with that was home values. They're here to stay for at least a foreseeable future. And we gotta guide the client in the right direction based off what home they should be getting rather than the values going up or down. And I'm gonna address what payments are gonna look like when values do go up or down, so it makes it easier for you to justify yourself when you're saying it doesn't matter when the values go down in the future. You're not really making or breaking the bank. So I'm gonna cover that in just one moment. Before I continue, does anyone wanna add your thoughts about market values? Is what I'm not on the field, I'm going based off what our realtors are bringing to us. Is what I'm saying correct? Are values still relatively in the same area as 2021? Are they going any higher? Are they coming any lower? Floor is yours. Any one person want to comment on that?
My personal experience, I feel like since last summer they've gone up.
Since summer of 2021.
2021. They were always highest and best last summer, but now it's insane. I mean, it's less than 24 hours. Every deal is highest and best now. Every deal is highest and best.
So values have gone up, or the heat of the deal has gone up, meaning people are getting more aggressive?
I mean, I feel like the value has gone up, but the demand's even greater.
Got it.
think we're in the bubble that people think that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
We have the low inventory, and the demand is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, like she said, everything is going right away. If you won't get in to see it in the first 24 hours or first weekend, if they're gonna allow showings to happen over a weekend, it's gonna be gone, it's gonna go over, there's gonna have to be appraisal guarantees and whatever else you wanna throw at it to try and get it to stick.
Waiving.
The other dozen plus offers you're gonna get.
Waiving inspection, waiving appraisal.
Free occupancy, everything.
Another example I can give you, this is how many showings I was denied this past weekend. Because they didn't even wanna waste their time. Like, it was insane. And one house that I did get into had 29 offers in Rochester.
Wow. The desirable home it must be.
Snowmass or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even try to go in there.
That's how desirable it was. We had 3 people in here know about it.
There was one in Shelby that was also, it's a foreclosure, it was a builder's model. And she had, I think, 30 offers, and the bank knew what they were doing. I think she said that their highest offer was at $1 million.
Wow. I should
Wow.
have this
On
weekend.
that Rochester one?
No, this was in Shelby.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not only you're
it's
fighting the inventory, but you're fighting overall inflation too. So, I mean, prices are not gonna come down, so inflation, just in all goods is driving this, I think. But the inventory thing, if we don't see that inventory come up, it's gonna be just like last summer where it's highest and best.
Mhm.
50 showings on 2 days and
Yeah.
you
20
see all the
plus
same
offers.
people and,
Yeah.
you know, all the same agents at the same houses. The next one, you're gonna see them at the next one, you're going to the next one because that's the only thing that's open, you know.
So what I'm saying then is even more true because the values are not coming down. Doesn't appear to be coming down soon. As a matter of fact, it appears that they've gotten more aggressive because of inventory, supply and demand, and have gone up a little bit. And that is an example I want to give you guys. So when a buyer is saying, I want to wait until the values drop, I believe it's only a matter of time. The question is when. Everyone is wondering when. So let's assume when is 2 years from today. Whenever that when is, I do believe we're due for a 10 to 15% correction. If we're talking about a $400,000 home, that correction is $75,000. What that's actually going to do for the client and their payment, if they actually ended up in that scenario for the same rates, they'd end up being about $250 better. Okay, we're talking about a $400,000 home. So you're talking about a $200,000, $300,000 homes. Those price difference, the monthly payment of $250 becomes even less. And what I'm going to bring up is I don't believe now there's clientele where that does truly matter. It's going to make or break a deal. There's a wide array of clientele where that doesn't truly matter. It's not going to make or break them. They just need to accept it. It's the acceptance part that they're thinking it's going to be better or not, and kind of selling themselves out of a home that they should be buying now instead of just accepting what it actually is right now if the right home is on the market. So that's one example. Then there's the example of the person saying, I want to buy now, and they might make the wrong choice, right? Because rates are going to go up. Or I want to buy in the future when the values come down. So let's say the values go down by $100,000. In that case, rates are going to continue to go up how they have been. Let's say rates go up to 4.875, 5%. Yeah, your value came down by, call it $75,000 because of that 15% correction. The buyer's only going to save $150 a month. This is actual mortgage calculator calculation. So hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you're right. It will be a better deal. Let me just give you a number real quick, and I'll email this to all you guys at breakdown so you can actually present it when you're in those situations. I'll give you some different price ranges. You're right. There will be a difference. This home that we all agree that you and your spouse love, if you were to get it next, assuming the market crashed next year and you were to get it now, you'd be paying this much per month instead of that much per month. Do you really want to take the chance and wait? I think 80% of customers, 80% of buyers, if it's the right home for them, are going to be like, no, I don't want to wait. I thought it would be $500 a month. I thought it would be $800 a month. But once you break it down to them and show them that the difference is, I don't make it sound like nothing, but if you're talking about a home, it is truly negligible, these amounts. You're talking about where a person's going to live, and especially if we're talking about people who have families, it does become negligible. Anyone want to ask any questions in regards to interest rates?
It's also going to hurt the buyer if they're renting right now. These rents are ridiculously high, more so than buying the house. I think rentals are worse than trying to get a rental than it is to buy a house right now. That's saying a lot.
Could someone bring me a fresh notepad, please, or a piece of paper? I want to take some things I want to do for them after the meeting to send to them. Okay. So yeah, I agree. I didn't even think about that one. They're paying high rent regardless. So bada bing, bada boom with that one. Thank you. So I'm gonna send everyone these price breakdowns, price difference breakdowns for rates and market changes. So that you could use that as ammunition when someone's selling themselves off of a home that they should be buying now. Again, everything I do, you guys will see that I'll justify pretty much any move to get the buyer to close, not because I want to close, not because I want to make this company money, not because I want to put money in your pocket, but because the buyer should be buying the home. And if that is the right home, our jobs is to, we all say the fiduciary responsibility, saving money. Our job is to get them into the home they want first. Secondly, now that, because this is what the market is, now that we've accomplished this, we applied the strategy to get you here, how do I save you money now? How do I save you money now? If we go into how do I save you money first, good luck. Good luck. Does it happen? Of course it happens, but good luck. Your ratios go down like crazy. You get attached to, instead of being attached to a success story where the client's gonna compliment the fact that you did that you actually applied the pressure, a year from today, they'll be complimenting you. Instead, it'll be, I've been working with this realtor in this mortgage company, and for some reason, they don't know the reason, for some reason I'm not closing on a home. Then another loan officer and another realtor speaks to them and give any reason as to why they're not closing a home with that realtor and that loan officer. And if that, they either get lucky with that next realtor and or that person applies the right pressure in the right moment, at the right time, and gets it done properly for their buyer. So a lot of what we do is, let's get the job done for them. Not necessarily what they want, what they need, what they need to happen for them if they want the home. So that's how we roll. I'm gonna go on to the next topic of appraisals and home value. But before I do, I'm gonna give another opportunity for anyone to put any of their own commentary on this topic of applying the right pressure, home values going up, interest rates going up, etc. Going once, going twice.
I just had a scenario over the weekend. It was a $190,000 house, and somebody outbid us. They gave 60-day free occupancy, $15,000 appraisal guarantee, and they offered $220,000. That's the only way they could have made it.
How much was the guarantee?
$15,000.
15 on 220.
No, the house was $190,000, but they offered $220,000.
And they guaranteed 15 of it.
And they did 60-day free occupancy.
Yeah, I had one that was listed for $634 no buy, and it went over $700 with an appraisal guarantee.
Got it. Got it. These guarantees, you gotta love them. I've embraced them. I hate the fact that everyone knows about guarantees now, because before in 2019 and before, guarantee was like a secret strategy, and we would win every time. We would win all the time. I loved it, but now it's like, it's ridiculous. You know, it's not just our strategy anymore. Yeah, it was. I'm telling you, like we'd win 9 out of 10 as long as the buyer was okay with it. We'd win 9 out of 10. Now you have the buyer okay with it. You make the right offer, and you still may get beat. You know.
Well, now they're doing escalation clauses and waiver appraisal or waiver appraisal.
Kind of inspection.
Yeah, like I don't recommend
I don't think right
Inspection
now.
ever.
inspection.
Yeah, I think it should be against the law. That way nobody would do it, but it is what it is. Like,
I'm not bothering doing escalation clauses anymore.
why not?
Too confusing.
Agents don't like seeing them. It confuses the sellers, and they just wanna see you put your best foot forward.
That's the part I was gonna bring up.
With what's going on in the market, again, it's if this, that, then we'll do this. No, just do it and get it to happen.
Yeah, I had a bunch on the listing recently, and I just wrote back to all the agents, just give me your highest and best. I'm not like trying to figure this out.
Yeah, I started having agents reject my offers that came in with an escalation clause a few months back, and I was kind of scratching my head. That was the first time I had experienced that, and I was like, why? And I just gradually, more and more, started to see, all right, we can't, don't bother doing it.
Yeah, if we put our mindset of the listing agent, whenever we have a listing, it's like, hey, here's the market. We know what the market is. I don't got time. What is it? Yep. All right. So we're going to touch more on offer strategies. That's going to be the next item after this one.
1 second.
So,
Sorry,
yep.
Jasmine wanted to put. I
Yep.
have a question. What is an escalation clause?
I'll gladly answer unless someone wants to take the opportunity. Go ahead, Jeff. Oh, anyone want to take the opportunity?
I can explain it.
Yep.
So it's basically if an say they had an offer in at 175 with an escalation clause up to 185. So that means if any offer comes in at 180, they'll escalate their clause up to and they can say escalated up to 1,000 over the highest offer or whatever. So it just escalates their clause up to that offers come in that are higher, theirs is gonna be put in the front, 1,000 higher until they get to the point where they're like, up until this point. So it gets confusing because I had escalation clause coming in at, okay, we'll escalate it up to 270. Okay, well, I had an offer for 275, so now you're paying, you know what I mean? Now you're,
Yeah.
like, so which is which, so then it just got like confusing for me, so I just went back to the agent, was like,
Yeah.
are you willing to pay 275? Cause I have this offer. If they're not, then, you know, you're off the table, kind of.
Yeah,
That was
I
nice
feel
of
like
you.
right now that's like a waste
That
of
was nice of you to
time.
reach out to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay, I feel like right now, the agent was to see that, it's not even a waste of time.
That's-
So I don't do
that was my
escalation
point
clauses
earlier.
anymore
Yeah.
either.
I'll
That's
tell
what
you
we did
this,
all last summer and it just got annoying.
And if you are gonna do an escalation clause, usually you're gonna put some kind of language in there,
About
saying
five.
that there's, you gotta see a bona fide offer.
Yeah.
We gotta prove that you're beating something,
Right,
not just,
yeah.
they pulled an arbitrary, oh yeah, we got another offer at this.
At that point, you're
One
safer
thing
with
is
the
that-
appraisal guarantee, right?
Oh, appraisal
Well, they're
guarantee is more
guaranteed
important than
too with
escalation.
escalation.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah.
just safer with them.
Absolutely.
A lot of agents just didn't need to be more transparent instead of like when I'm calling you and asking you, like, you know, I've had a few that are not and I've had several that are. And if you are transparent, you're gonna get the highest offer for your client. You know, if you're saying, well, I can't tell you how much it is or whatever.
Oh.
I was
and
going,
hate
I
that.
was
I
going
don't
back
want
and
people to waste their
forth
time.
with people because there was two that were cash and they kept doing escalation clause and I would say, I have, this one just went up to this, just to
Yeah.
let you know, like, that's where
Oh my
we're
God, I
at.
did that so much last summer, it was horrible.
And then she would be like, okay, stand by, and then they would like go, and I was like, I mean, I'm getting the best price for my client, but I'm also being.
I want to ask all the realtors a question, but to cap off what Jasmine was asking, for that escalation clause, the listing agent has to provide proof that your offer was beat,
Yes.
and because you have an escalation clause, your offer is now automatically escalated to the higher amount. So they send you proof, great, and because that's the offer you made.
Yeah.
And now
I had to provide that offer to the guy who escalated.
before Corona, it was a thing, and it was rarely used, but when it was used, it would work. But like Jeff said, it confuses the seller. Anything that confuses the seller and or the listing agent, we got to field it out. Hey, is this agent a pro? Is this agent a detailed pro or a non-detailed pro? If they are a pro, because there's different personality types, right? Is this agent a rookie? You got to field it out. If something's going to confuse the seller, like maybe you don't make that type of offer, even though you're like, it's the right offer. They're not mature enough in real estate to know that that is the better offer. You got to kind of structure it to win on that scenario, not to win because it worked with the last realtor, right?
Pre-COVID was, the escalation clause was kinda like your trump card. Sure, you
Yeah.
put it down and as long as the number was high enough, you were gonna get it.
Yep.
Now it doesn't matter. But I mean, in my case, when I'm on the listing side, if I have multiple offers in hand, and somebody calls me and say, hey, I'm gonna write, if they're gonna be writing that list, and I already know I have significantly over, I tell them, I offer as a professional courtesy, don't waste your time.
That's
I have half a
right,
dozen in
too.
my hand already that are higher than that. Unless you're gonna come over this number, don't waste your time. And they're always thanking me, because we all know how long it takes to draft an offer. We don't need practice drafting an offer.
Or their
So-
clients getting
Yeah,
excited, they might be
exactly.
picked,
Their
and-
client's getting excited about, hey, we submitted an offer, there was no chance. So I'm straightforward about that, and I hope and expect the same when I'm on the other end making that phone call.
And you're helping your seller out too. You're
I-
gonna get a better offer.
Yeah.
I got a question for all you guys, because is it actually against compliance or regulation, meaning against the law, to actually be a realtor to say, hey, here are my best 3 offers, post them. This is what it is on the home. These are the 3 best. If you want to be in the game, here's what it is. This means that now the people with the best 3 offers know that their offer, everyone can see it. But now everyone else who's interested in this home, they're either raising the bar to that level or going higher, or they're out of the game so quickly. Like, we have the answers. Is that against the law? I don't know. Is that against the law? Is that against regulation?
Not as long as the sellers are okay with it, sharing the number.
So I wish it worked that way. Because just imagine right now, here's the home. Everyone's interested in this home. Here's the top 3 offers. Everyone else who's interested, I'm either going there or I'm not. Now, if they are the top 3 offers, it would, like, I wish it worked this way. Now I'm required to go back to those 3 offers. If a better offer comes in, hey, you have a whole business day to respond back with a better offer or to say you're done. Almost like an auction. I don't know. I wish it was that transparent because deals would happen faster and everyone would know, like, I don't gotta guess. What did I lose to? What's the winning offer? Like, here's our best deal. Like, either beat it or walk away, or you can match it. Maybe I like you better. Maybe I like the loan better. Maybe I like the realtor better. Maybe I just feel more confident with you. But here's what's on the table. I wish it worked that way.
But
Frustrated
it could
once,
shoot you in the foot, I'm sorry.
I get frustrated once it's under contract and I ask them, hey, do you mind sharing with me the details of the offer that won, just so that in the future I can educate my clients and in the future we can come in stronger. Because sometimes if they're first time home buyers, buyers, they don't know this market. You know, they're like, oh, it's not gonna go for over that. And you're like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, you wanna see? Let's give it a try. And, you know, then they're like, no, I can't share that information. I'm like, it's already under contract. What do you care? Like, what do you care?
Yeah.
What do you care? Just telling me, like, what you accepted. Like,
So Jeff is saying it could shoot you in the foot. How?
Well, if the buyers that have already submitted those offers see that their offers are out there just enticing other people to try and beat them, they can rescind their offers. You know, or you don't know if somebody's not gonna end up getting qualified, then they're gonna go to the second offer or something like that. You know what I
So,
mean?
but basically, for that to work, buyers and sellers would have to be okay with disclosing the information.
Yeah, one buyer's gonna be okay with putting their offer public to let somebody else try and beat them.
So it's not against regulation or compliance. This isn't taught like as like a law. This is just like this is practice, right? Okay. All right. Would any of you realtors do what I just said? Would anyone do that? Is there a situation where you see yourself doing that? Curious, because I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. I'm like I would, but I don't. You know, I'm not out there.
I don't, but I do it behind the scenes like I did with my last listing.
Yeah.
I kept going, I would tell the agent who was first, you know,
Yeah.
who just got beat, hey, you were just beat.
Mhm.
Just FYI, like, I had highest best at 6 p.m. You know, you have 2 hours to let me know if you guys want to go higher or whatever.
Got it.
And
Done it with
at the same
cash
time,
deals
let's
that
be-
are short, you know? Because you'd rather have the cash deal for your seller, obviously.
Got it.
At the same time, let's be realistic. The listing agent, whether it's ourselves or the other listing agent, if there are multiple offers and they have an offer that they're going to potentially double dip, they're going to go straight to their buyer now and tell them what they got to beat, and it's up to their buyer that they already have an offer written on if they're going to want to beat it. So they have the leg up in this case.
Understood. Understood. A man could dream, right? A man could dream.
I personally like to go with more best than highest, because if it's too high and, you know, it's not gonna appraise, you end up like going back, you lose it. So you want a better offer than a higher offer. I mean, if it's $5,000, let's just say they're gonna give you 60 days free occupancy, or they're gonna do other things. I'd rather have that and guarantee the sale go through instead of be so high that it's not gonna be appraised correctly.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
That's why I don't, and that's why the best is more important than the highest, because the best may be the one with the most appraisal guarantee in
Right,
today's
yeah,
market, because the appraisers haven't caught up with what's
Right.
going on.
I want to touch on that. It's something I want to bring up later, but you just brought it up right now. I feel that a lot of times, not every realtor, but in my mind, it's majority of realtors, when they call for highest and best, they're calling for highest. Because I don't believe a lot of the realtors are vetting what is truly the best in the examples that you guys just gave. Would you agree with this, that when they're calling for highest and best, it's really just going to highest? Or would you agree that most realtors are not truly vetting what is the best offer? Or,
Sellers are looking for the highest dollar.
Yes.
As a realtor, we're looking for not just the best dollar, but we're like what she said, the best terms. The one that, if it is different lenders and we know the lenders or this and that, we know which one's gonna, have the best chance, to get to the closing table and appraise.
We went with a lower offer, but it was cash.
That's always the best thing for me.
yeah.
When I'm the listing agent.
When you're on the listing side, of course. Of course.
To appraisal.
Got it. All right. God bless you.
Thank you.
All right.
Every offer I've written over the last at least month with regards to inspection has been for informational purposes only, not to negotiate a price reduction or ask for seller's concessions. And if we didn't put that in there, it was no individual item under X amount of dollars will be asked for repair.
So it's an inspection to decide whether they want to move forward or not, but we're not asking for any money.
And I just had somebody back out on one because of that, because they realized how much stuff that the house needed, and we said we weren't gonna do it.
That's what I do. I do informational
Or
only, but
if it's something
it's an
major,
inspection.
like major, like,
The roof.
AC, roof,
Yeah.
or anything. But minor stuff, you just let it go.
Cosmetics, broken, it's
Yeah,
fine.
it's fine.
I love that one because inspections should be there. It really should, like really, really should. Okay. So I believe we naturally answered some of the stuff I was going to cover as far as appraisals goes and what we were just talking about. Let's see here. We got that. For appraisals, the only item I want to address is FHA and VA appraisals. Okay? So there's a stigma against FHA and VA loans. The stigma is the value's going to come short. As you did. I hate that it was true in that scenario because it's not.
These FHA appraisers,
I was hoping to show her it wasn't the case, but what she said ended up happening in that case.
Deals 'cause of that last year.
Man. So
I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
I don't think an FHA or VA has a chance right now.
true. I'm gonna get into a few things about that in a moment. There is a stigma about FHA being short. It's proven true for Shayla's experience. I want to ask just a quick yes or no. Are you guys seeing in any deals throughout your career that FHA compared to conventional or VA compared to conventional, not regarding appraisal repairs and those sort of things that come up on those appraisals, just value? Have you experienced values being different enough for you to say that was because of FHA or that was because of VA? My experience is no, it didn't work, and I was trying to prove it to Shayla. But our experience, like numbers-wise, with all the deals we do, is no. But we'll get a little field vote here. Okay, so I'm gonna add. There's a few things here. If you guys notice, some of the deals that were brought up, yes, there's experiences where they came in short and those killed the deal. Some of the experiences that were brought up weren't necessarily value, was the other challenges that killed the deal, like the septic. You end up converting the deal to a conventional anyways. You're still looking for a home with your FHA buyer, right? A lot of that does get solved if you go conventional, because the stigma that plays into, it shouldn't play into a VA loan, but the stigma that plays into an FHA loan is that your buyer's not gonna close. Something happens on the deal, your buyer's not gonna close. That's the stigma. What I could tell you is that if Connect Loans pre-approves an FHA deal, pre-approves a VA deal, we're closing that deal. Even if things come up, unless they're not crazy stuff like the septic inspection and two other things I'm gonna mention, Vanessa highlighted it. The question I always ask is, hey, the concrete outside, if an elderly person is walking on there, they're gonna fall and hurt themselves. The answer is yeah, you already know the concrete's gonna have to be fixed. If the answer is no, just by you looking, it's not coming up. It's not coming up. The roof, if you could see from the outside that it's a big deal, it's probably gonna come up. If you cannot see from the outside, that's not a big deal, pretty much doesn't come up. All the other stuff, in our pre-approval process, if we're pre-approving them that way, and by the way, we'll only pre-approve an FHA or VA deal if that is the only way to close the client. Otherwise, we're doing conventional loan. Like we'll find the means to make them put an extra 2% down, an extra 5% down, if that's what it means to get them conventional. Why? Because it gives them buying power out there in the market, and you're not stuck shopping for a home. And instead of having a success story, we're looking for a home for 2 years. And it's usually not because they didn't find what they want, it's usually because they couldn't close, right? So we do a great job in that, where if you're gonna have a pre-approval from us where that's what it is, they're gonna be able to close on that loan unless the value comes in satisfactory and none of those crazy items come up. And that's where your job comes in. Hey, Connect, we can't make an FHA offer on this home. No, why? Because they said no FHA? No, because there's these huge challenges. It's a no-go. If they could only do FHA, we gotta move on. Because if there's a way to get it done, we've done it. We won't say, like, we convinced the buyer to pay up to $1,000 worth of FHA required repairs in our pre-approval, so that you could choose to make that in the offer or just leave it alone, don't even bring it up. If it comes up, our buyer's already prepared to pay up to $1,000 of those repairs. And what ends up happening is our buyer either goes in and fixes it over the weekend with their handyman, or it's small enough to where the seller is like, don't worry about it. It's just the GFI water compliant power outlets. I'll take care of it this Saturday. Don't worry about it. The amount of times that happens is crazy. Where we just have the convo and the seller takes care of it, even though we said we're going to pay for it, because it wasn't a battle. The amount of times that happens that way is pretty crazy. But when they're not down for that, our buyer goes in with their handyman or sends their handyman to take care of those items. So yes, FHA, VA, not preferred. And we will only approve it that way if that is their only way to get it done. For a veteran, it's a little different. For a veteran, it's actually sometimes a dramatically better deal for them, right? So we gotta look at it a little bit differently. They qualify for that loan. But we close our FHA and VA deals.
I had a Mishta, believe it or not, in 2020 when the market was so high with the concrete that you're talking about. It was horrible. It appraised. I was shocked that it appraised.
Yeah.
The way the driveway was. And it was a Mishta FHA.
Yeah, Mishda is usually FHA.
As long as you, like you're talking about the terms, as long as you know how to tweak the terms to make it very appealing, Mishtas can get accepted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the multiple offer, with the highest and best.
Now that you know that, you went through that experience.
I did. I went through, it took 60 days. Don't get me wrong.
I had a mixed
Yeah.
deal
It took
early
60
last
days.
year.
Yeah.
But it closed.
So here's what I always say. If you evaluated the property and you know it's FHA and or you know it's a Mijda, and you see what's going on, you know what's going to come up FHA. Either we're going to get the buyer prepared for what's possible on this home, and we're moving forward, or we're backing out. Once we decide let's go, after we all know what comes up in FHA and VA, it's go time. Anything could come up. We should have seen it either in the inspection, or we should be having that eye when we're out there. It is an FHA buyer. This will come up. It's chipping paint on the wall throughout the entire exterior wall by the garage. It's coming up. It's going to have to be painted. It's the deck where it's chipping wood that has to be scraped and repainted. It's coming up. You're lucky when it doesn't come up. It does happen where it doesn't come up, but if you see it, odds are, if the appraiser's doing his job and you saw it, if the appraiser's doing their job, they're going to see it. So we got to know, like, we're preparing the buyer for it up front before the offer, and then we all accept or we move on. Because we all do it. We could all easily complain when challenges come up on the deal, but we all know better as well. We know this is an FHA. We know this is going to come up. But once we decide to go in, we got to prepare everyone and go in and close. And we do close. It's when we're not prepared and it's like, you know, why is this happening? Or we're going to back out. They don't want to spend $1,000 to fix the wood, etc. That's where you have a problem. That's where you have a problem. The most recent client we had, not the most recent, but one of the most recent from out of state.
Yeah.
We prepared. I told her, she's FHA, like, this is what it is. You might have to leave much more money down than what we have, because she was the opposite. She was FHA not because of minimum down payment. That was her, because of her credit, was all she could do. She had to leave a large down payment even to get approved FHA. So we told her, 1, 2, 3, and if these things come up, when they looked at the house, you're going to have to end up paying for them. That's what ended up happening. It took longer, but
The seller ended up fixing some stuff, trying to help with the trip hazard. We parked a couple cars in the driveway to cover it up. And
yeah.
it passed.
Yeah, for the concrete. Yep.
Shipping paint on the side of the house.
Yeah.
Paint on the side of the house, you can't cover.
You'd be surprised what you could pass with, like, the deck if there's a missing handrail on the stairs, or like the trick is everyone being mentally prepared that, hey, there's a high chance this comes up, so are we okay with taking care of these things? Yes, yes, yes. Cool. It's not a problem after that. Everyone's prepared for the time and the energy that it's going to take to get that deal closed. That's when we have those deals, right? The FHA and VA. So any other commentary anyone wants to add in regards to that?
The only other hang up, and this is minor, but it's a matter of getting your sellers to understand this, is in the case of the VA offer, you know, the pest inspections.
Yes.
You pay by the seller.
Yep.
The sellers, even though it's $100 and something bucks, are like,
They don't wanna
"Why
pay for
should
it."
I pay this and this and that.
And the listing agent doesn't want that. It confuses them, like you were saying. It kills your deal. We're paying for all that stuff.
With the VA one that I said we were looking for
Yep.
2 years,
And
I put in my offers, I'll pay for it. I'll say
I
that.
was-
Yeah, when I said we, I meant the buying side, whether it's the buyer, you guys, us, like, we'll work with you guys on this type of thing as well. Like, buying side needs to go in saying, if you're making that type of offer, like, it needs to be addressed to that agent. Like, don't worry about these things. We're taking care of it.
That's something I didn't know that we, through RESPA or whatever the case, if we were able to do something about.
Yeah.
Because it's a little
Yeah, it's
thing, but
120.
it's like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
The only other thing is, you know, again, with the timeline of closing, she's talking about the FHA that she closed, it took 60 days.
Yeah.
Unless the money is significantly better, again, is somebody gonna take an FHA offer that might take 60 days to close?
No.
45, versus when they take conventional, that's gonna take 30 or less?
We had one in December.
Less than that as well.
We had one in December that was,
Yes.
with another agent that we both work with. That was FHA. It took long, but everyone was aware coming into the deal. This is what it is. This is what it is, and we got it done. So, Amara, anything you want to add?
I thankfully has not had to do it
All
with
right.
any chair VA yet.
Lou, since we're talking on the topic of repairs, you know, deck, is there any tidbit you want to add real quick in regards to insurance?
You know, obviously, if the house is bad enough, it won't get approved by the insurance companies to continue, but that will come after the closing, so that's not your really primary concern. But, you know, the inspection waivers that you guys are recommending not to waive, I highly agree with that.
Mhm.
Because, you know, you have all these pieces of equipment that can go bad, and they're not covered by insurance unless you buy an equipment breakdown endorsement on the policy. It costs about $30-40 to include it on the policy. Always, you know, on the real estate side, you don't deal with the insurance as much, but on the mortgage side, recommend that there's a offer for equipment breakdown. If they're gonna waive the inspection, they have to have it.
Yeah.
Without
Well,
that,
and there
they're
are
just-
also, like, for instance, even if they don't wanna go the route of adding it to the
Yeah.
insurance, like consumers, I know, because that's what I do, they will, like, put insurance on all, like, whatever appliances you want, like, they have
Yeah.
packages, so that
that is something also you can like suggest to your buyers if they wanna win the house and do the inspection waiver.
Yeah.
That like Consumers offers their appliance warranty package as well, and they don't even need to be like new appliances or anything, you just call them and tell them I'm AC, water tank, stove, whatever.
The only problem with that particular way is it's more expensive that way. But if there's a DTI issue on the insurance, it's definitely the way to go. Because you can, just lower the cost of the insurance a little bit. The other thing I was gonna say is, as everything is going up and up, the insurance is also going up. And one of the things that I'm finding with almost every closing that we're doing, the estimate on the pre-approval for the insurance is under where it needs to be. And so what's happened is what a house used to go for about $800 to $1,200 a year for insurance, with the rising cost of construction, and sometimes in like Rochester, Troy, Bloomfield Hills areas, the cost of the house is more than the replacement cost. So we have to go up to that level to cover the loan amount. And so that's escalating the cost of insurance up into the $1,500, $1,800, $2,100 a year.
Yeah.
Range, with the best rate possible. So if you've got a pre-approval at 1,000 and it comes back 1,600, that can change the deal. So you wanna make sure your estimates on the mortgage side are rising, with inflation at least. But then with the cost of insurance as well, because if not, that could blow up your deal right there. The other thing is, cities are catching up with the assessment values. Last year they were lagging a little bit behind, but like Fraser, for example, where I live, they just estimated my house to be worth so much money. I wish I could sell it for that much money. But they want over $6,500 a year for taxes in Fraser. So that will kill your pre-approval too. So you wanna make sure, you're seeing what that is, because they're catching up. And so that, with DTI issues can be a major factor.
So we've been, in our codes, been estimating $1,600, $1,800 a year for insurance instead of we used to do $1,200.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing now because we're noticing that as well. Appreciate that. I'll add one more thing in regards to.
I have a question.
Yep.
Boilers are not covered in insurance companies anymore, correct?
Well, it depends on the company.
Okay.
We can find the company that will take a boiler. It's
Okay.
usually they wanna look at it, they wanna know how it was installed, when it was installed, how old it is. But there's always a carrier that will take something and cover it. So if there's a boiler exclusion, we can get an endorsement or a company to cover that as long as we know about it when we're asking.
Okay.
We don't often ask what kind of heat is it, cause almost everybody's got gas.
Yeah,
or-
it's original.
But if the furnace or heating hasn't been updated, then that question does come up, what kind of heat is it? And if it's a boiler, we just gotta find the right carrier, so that's when you get stuck, where you can't go State Farm, can't go AAA, can't go, Allstate or whatever. You have to end up with an independent who can find a carrier, and then you better be ready for the cost to be, $500-600 more for the year.
So it's almost better to just replace it?
It's always better to replace, because you're gonna get a discount on the heating, on the insurance, got better efficiency, well, not necessarily, safer.
Yeah.
And then, it's better to replace, but if the cost is prohibitive of that, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more on the insurance, but it can be done as long as you talk about it. Yeah.
All right. So to cap off the offers in regards to repairs, value, FHA, VA, I could confidently tell you that if we've pre-approved any deal, we're gonna close it. And we've already had the conversations and looked at the thresholds with, hey, could the DTI kill the deal, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
We've already put all those factors and metrics into our pre-approval. Like truthfully, when you have a pre-approval from our company, no matter what type of deal it is, the house appraises and it's not too far off in appraisal, we're closing this deal. So I cannot say that necessarily about other companies. I don't trust their own conventional approvals, even if their client is truly qualified. I definitely don't trust their FHA and VA approvals. This is where the stigmas come in from with bad approvals and bad FHA and VA loans, because unfortunately what a bad loan officer does is they complain about the underwriter and complain about the program and complain about the buyer's qualification when it's like, you pre-approved the deal, bro. You should have never sent it out that way. So if we have it sent out for you guys to go spend your time on it, it's getting done. Because, and this will let you know where we come from. This might sound a little selfish, but this protects everybody. We care about our time first. So we're not going to send a pre-approval out for you, get excited about a deal, for you guys to go waste your time, or for the client to waste their time, for nobody to benefit. If we care about our time and we're protecting that, you better believe your time is protected, your client's time is protected, the seller's time is protected, everybody's closing. we're going to get it done. So that's that as far as that goes. I want to move on to some of the offer strategies before we get into the last part here. So is the offer paradigm. We've touched on it. We've covered about 50% of this already. It's getting the buyers truly ready for this market. And, you know, there's a saying out there that says beggars can't be choosers, right? The saying's been there since, you know, ancient times. We don't say it to our clients that way, but we know what they're looking for or what they're trying to do is not going to work. We know this. We know this very well. And it's our job to guide them in that right direction as much as possible. Now, you might have to field the client 1, 2, 3 offers before they get it. The sooner we could get them there, hopefully on the first offer, even if they don't win it, the sooner we can get them there, the better. So we're all going to have clients where they want more than what they could get. And we also have a lot of clients that are well within their budget. And you're like, yes, because you know their deals. You know that it's going to be easier to get what they want. So the sooner we could change our buyer from a window shopper, even though they don't know they're a window shopper, to an actual buyer, the better for you. And we help you with that. We are a part of that process the whole way. By the time you have that pre-approval, we've already had those convos. We've already had those convos with the buyer. And we get that done. So I want to see, that's a comment I wanted to make. People are trying to get lucky in the market. And the saying is luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And out here just get lucky. If we have them prepared up here and in their pocketbook with what they could really afford, that's when we get lucky and make the deal happen. So that's that part. And now I want to cover the guarantees. So I want someone to comment on what I'm about to say. I believe, from what I see working, in the $200,000 price range, you have $5,000 to $10,000 guarantee. In the $300,000 price range, you had a $10,000 to $15,000 guarantee on average. And in the $400,000 price range, you're in the $14,000 to $20,000 guarantee and above. Anyone want to correct me on that? Too conservative. So you're saying how much higher? Another 5, another 10? Okay. All right. Basically another $5,000. All right. Anyone else want to add to that?
I put an offer the other day on a house and it was listed at $350,000. We came in at $375,000 with $25,000 appraisal guarantee. Inspection for informational purposes, only 60 days pre-occupancy just to get it. What more could we have put on that?
Yeah.
You know, aside from paying the seller's closing costs, you know what I mean?
Your firstborn child.
Did it still get rejected?
No, we got it accepted.
Okay.
Then we actually did walk away from that one during the inspection.
Oh, after all that. You know
And then
what
the
I-
seller came, the listing agent came begging me back, what can we do? Because she didn't realize the condition of the house until our inspectors had been in there. And I told her why we were walking away.
Yeah.
My sellers were like, nope. I told the listing agent, I don't think that they'd come back at $325 and they didn't want to come back at all.
I mean, it is, that's why, like,
That's how much of a swing I'm talking about.
We just made an offer. I'm gonna get back to Shayla in a second. We just made an offer where this is the other thing with the guarantees. I don't think we need to make a guarantee. The listing agent said we're the best offer. The listing agent said there is no better offer yet. And that's true. Right now we are the best offer. We had that. I was telling the buyer, it was one of Vanessa's referrals. I was telling the buyer we gotta put a guarantee. It was $400,000. I was asking for a $10,000 guarantee because they were at 0, right? Which should be higher. They're like, no, they've already accepted the offer. The guy came back and said, if you could do 400, isn't it be your deal? I'm like, I know, but I've heard this before. I just don't trust it because if a better deal comes in and the agent is anxious and or whether it's an actual better deal or a good pre-approval or not, they're likely to take it. So let's just seal our deal by getting that in there. We didn't. And long story short, we lost it to a slightly lower offer, but with a 5 or a 10K guarantee.
they offered, the person we lost it to offered $395 with a $10K.
So 5,000 lower, but a 10K guarantee.
My borrower offered 4 with no guarantee, but the offer came in at the last minute, $395, $10K.
The point of that story isn't that we lost to a guarantee versus a non-guarantee. We all know that. It's the buyer said that we're good. Like we're the best. The listing agent said we're the best offer. We're not going to go higher. And I'm trying to say no. Like we see this happen all the time. We think we're the best and we get outbid. We get edged out at the last second.
So, I mean, the buyer's agent should have done a better job consulting them what's a appraisal guarantee versus non-appraisal guarantee and what type of market we're in. That
So
doesn't
I
make any sense.
kind of
That's the point of what we're talking about.
You guys all know as realtors, just as we know, when a client is headstrong on something, no matter how amazing a realtor or mortgage company is, they're not going to listen, or they're going to be like, you know what, you're you're too pushy, I don't want you, I'm gonna go find a different realtor.
4 houses later, they listen to you and they get a house.
Exactly, but you have to feel out your clients, so it's not the buyer's agent didn't do a good job, it's this particular client was very headstrong on, I'm not doing a guarantee. They regretted it after because they sent Terry and I a message saying, next house, appraisal guarantee no matter what.
Yeah, they're there now.
Right?
They're there now,
Well,
and
we
that's.
all know we don't piss off the client, right? Because you'll lose them and I'll lose them.
It's also your relationship with the listing agent if you have one.
Right.
It may genuinely make a difference if you actually do know the listing agent, have done business with them,
To
have a
come
personal
back to
relationship with
you
them.
and say, hey, this
Yeah,
offer came in at 10K, will your buyer do that?
Yeah, because the listing agent's gonna do what's best for their seller, regardless of what they tell you. If an offer's gonna come in, if I might call as a different agent, hey, my client wanted to write at this. That agent offers the courtesy that I said, hey, well, I got 400 right now, don't bother writing unless you come back with over 400. If I come back with over 400, no matter how much that agent likes you and told you that they're gonna go with your offer, they're gonna take that other offer.
100%.
If you have a good relationship with that agent though, that agent might give you the heads up, hey, something better came in, get your clients to up it or they're gonna lose it. So the relationships makes a difference as well.
100%. To cap off that example, the agent did tell us, and when we went to the clients, the clients thought he's lying, and now we're like, guys, we can't depend on whether he's lying or not. Like, let's do it.
And that's where it comes
And
in with
boom.
that headstrong client.
Are you serious?
But now it's one of those examples. Hey, it might take 2 or 3 times before they get there, but by the 3rd time, it's all of our job to be like, listen, we can't keep going out there like this. You need to be playing to how we're the type of offer we're telling you gotta do. Otherwise, we can't do it anymore.
Like, there's appraisal guarantees on every offer. Like, who does, I don't know.
I wanted you to touch on something that I'm noticing a lot in my office is, waiving the appraisal.
I
I've never
will.
done it personally, but I'm hearing a lot of it in my office.
I am going to address it along with our underwriting approvals. It's a big thing. The amount of offers we win with that is huge. I'm going to tell you how we get it. Okay. Sylvia, you had a question like 10 minutes ago. I passed you by accident. If you want to come ask your question.
I think she's on working on it.
Oh, you want to call? Got it. Okay.
I didn't offend you.
You didn't offend me at all.
No, the real.
I was irritated with my client, and so I'm like, oh,
Eh.
now you want to listen and do an appraisal guarantee.
Stephanie, it's funny that you asked me if you offended me. You couldn't tell, but my dad is a realtor, and you didn't offend me. Don't worry about it.
So I'm an agent and I'm a first-time home buyer, and I can say once I lost a couple houses, I was like, oh shit, this is like a different game. So for me personally, on the other side is like my own client, I had to learn the hard way, unfortunately. You kind of gotta like lose one to get one.
Right.
I do that with my clients. They don't
It's
wanna come in super
Yeah.
aggressively and they're
Yeah.
like, no, this is what we're comfortable with. I'm
Because
like,
I didn't
it's gonna
understand.
go.
I had no idea.
And that's why I asked the listing agent, how much should it go for? What
So
is
I
your
could
appraisal?
know.
Cause if
Yep.
they tell me it went for 25 over ask with a 10K guarantee and my client came in 5 over ask, no guarantee, I go back to them and say, this is what we're up against.
And
Like,
I
I'm
agree with
lying
that.
to you, Yeah.
Should anyone go past 3 times, 3 losses, 3 this, that's the point that I'm making is once you're there 3 times, like at that point, it's like either the client's got to be on board or as the LO, you as a realtor, like, sorry, client, I have to fire you as a client because
I had to do
you're
that.
wasting your time. Like they're going to keep trying to get lucky, you know?
They're first-time home buyers, they don't have the funds to do
Mhm.
an appraisal guarantee, and like, we were going up and I was like, I'm just writing offers for you, and like, if you don't have it, then my suggestion is to keep renting, save money, because this market's not gonna change anytime soon, and in
Mhm.
another 6 months, we revisit this,
On-
cause it's wasting my time taking you out and
Right,
writing
it's just like
offers,
Stephanie
and
said,
no,
right now with offers, you need appraisal guarantees.
Yeah.
Don't even submit one without it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's also disappointing to the buyers. And if the buyer knows like they cannot afford it, then it's not the time for them. You're right.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, it's about getting emotional to something, but you can't afford it.
And making,
You stop.
yeah.
You just, you
Yeah,
know,
right now,
revisit
like,
it.
it's just not the market
Yeah.
for you guys right now, like.
The appraisal guarantee, you
Just where
gotta,
we're at.
it sounds scary to a buyer, but you gotta show them with the CMA that, hey, you're really not risking that much here, you're not rich, but like she said, the buyer's gotta have the cash to do it just in case.
Mhm.
You also
You have to weigh
have
them.
to have enough of that established relationship with the buyer.
Right.
To your point, you were talking about yourself.
Mhm.
If it's a new buyer you start working with, there's only so much they're gonna, of your advice, that's what they got you for, is to advise you and guide them, right? There's only so much of your advice that they're gonna trust and accept in the beginning until they've gotten to learn on their own by losing a house or two. Unfortunately, it's them them losing a house or two and our time to make that happen, that causes them to finally now buy offer 3 or 4, do what they gotta do to make happen, but otherwise, we're just gonna come across as the pushy buyer's agent that they didn't like, and they just, trying to force them into doing something they weren't comfortable doing, and then they're gonna pick somebody else, but they're gonna learn from their experience with us when they go to the next agent.
Yeah, but if they're looking at a house on a weekend, you're standing out in line in a line, and I mean, I'm pretty much telling, look, this is gonna go over. You really think so? Yeah, no, there's look at all the
20
people
people
here.
outside, what do you mean?
That house,
Yeah.
that house that we talked about?
There was a
in
long,
Rochester?
there was a
I think it was
line.
underpriced by far.
Yeah.
We offered, and my client came down from his offer price. We were originally gonna offer 8, and I told him it wasn't gonna be enough, on a 715 listing.
Wow.
Okay, and then he came down to 7, then he tells me 777, then he goes up to 785. I told him I don't think it's even enough, and, I don't know how many offers came in, you said that one had like 29?
No, I'm talking about the one on Snowmass.
Okay,
That one
okay.
had
You know what
29
that
offers.
one-
Another thing is I try to explain to them, like, the one that we're working with now, Ellie.
Mhm.
She has this list of things, and her budget is only so much, and I'm like, we have to be real here, especially in this market. If I can get you the bulk of the things that you want in a home, but are you willing to renovate a bathroom, a small room or something?
Yeah.
That way, it's gonna be, you're gonna have a much larger, like, more to pick from.
Yes.
If you want a walk-in, move-in ready, everything remodeled, top to bottom, that's not realistic in this market. And I'm just being honest.
And if it is, you're leaving a even higher guarantee. It's replacing your your guarantee is replacing your renovation costs when it's like that.
Gotta have it
Yep.
like it is.
But that's why if somebody is within a 300 price range, they shouldn't be looking at 290. They should be looking at 225 to 250
Sandra,
maximum.
still good?
And then they can have that buff to come up 40,000, 50,000, whatever.
And then Sylvia had a question like 10 minutes ago. I passed her by
It wasn't a
accident.
question, it was actually a comment.
Go ahead.
When you guys were talking about the FHA and the VA stuff, the
Yep.
one thing I was gonna say is, you guys were like complaining about them not closing and things like that, and I was gonna say, we always close them. We always get it done. Where there's a will, there's a way, we always figure it out, me and Terry, always.
True.
So
And
that
it,
is
Very true.
So, yeah, so, I mean, we could finagle like a lot of different things with like the repairs or whatever it is, and like you said, you said what I was gonna say about, making the buyers, pay for the repairs too, put that in the purchase agreement to make it a stronger offer.
you'd be surprised when the seller and the listing agent are like, "Oh, my seller doesn't have to cover anything."
Yeah.
It's like, well, we're talking about $500, but the fact that they don't have to cover even $1, it's not even that they're cheap. It's because they don't know what it's going to cost. The moment you come in and say you don't got to pay for anything, it takes so much off their plate. They're more likely to accept the offer. So we're going to get now into the appraisal waiver. Okay, so there's appraisal guarantees, there's full guarantees, and then there's appraisal waiver. A full guarantee is saying, look, whether we have an appraisal or not, we're paying it. And it requires an appraisal. So the value could come in not 20,000 short, not 40, it could come in at any number and your buyer's paying it, right? An appraisal waiver says waived. The lender's already given us the value that we offered. You're all set. Nobody's spending time or money on an appraisal. Value's guaranteed. At that point, your offer is a guarantee. Everything's a guarantee at that point, right?
For the inspection.
Yeah, except for the inspection, which if that's the type of offer, it should come with all the highlights with the inspection of what you guys were saying of just to decide if we're moving forward or not. We're not going to nitpick you at any of these other items. We're not going to ask for price. We're just either backing out or moving forward. You have that type of offer with an appraisal waiver, your deal is getting accepted. As long as they're coming in with the right amount, your deal's getting accepted.
Approve that. It's not up to the buyer, it's the lender.
I'm going to show you how we do that.
Yeah.
So before I get into the actual waived part, with any guaranteed amount and or the full guarantee, again, we've already have I try to really, really bring to the surface the value that we provide to our mutual buyers and our agents. By the time they're talking to you about the guarantee, we've already talked to them about it. We've already vetted whether they have the money to do so. I already went through it with Ellie, saying, look, this is your max approval. Hey, if you want what you're looking for, you're coming out of pocket at this amount. I made them get together because he was saying, okay. I'm like, bring your wife, please. Let's talk about this together. Okay. And that's when they decided to stay between 275 and 285. Because if they actually did the full amount we talked about, they'd be depleted, right? So they decided, no, we're going to come down a little bit. So now they're kind of Hopefully out of the 300, you'll tell me when you actually take them out there. But we've already vetted their assets. If we're putting a guarantee, not only is it they could come up with the money, no, we already know how. They either already have the money, or we already have it blueprinted and game planned on how they're getting the money. They're getting the gift from the uncle. We didn't just take their word for it. We spoke with the uncle. Hey, uncle, this is what we're doing. They said they're going to give him $15,000. You're cool with that? Yeah. Okay, I need this. No, I'm not sending you my statement. Well, sorry, borrower, I can't use your uncle. He's being stubborn. He doesn't want to send me anything. We need a new gifter. We do that so early on. If it's not done, then the lender have to approve it. You guys are familiar with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Tell me if this is, if you don't know what this is. You guys know what AUS is, automatic underwriting software, DU for Fannie Mae, LP or LPA for Freddie Mac? Okay. Every loan in our country that is an FHA, a USDA, a VA, or conventional Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac goes through an underwriting software. Every lender. It doesn't matter what anyone tells you. This is just how it works. It goes through a computer software that synchronizes with your credit report and your mortgage application that we hand type in, right? That software will tell us you're approved or you're not approved. And it won't just say that, it'll give us the conditions. So everyone, all loan officers who like to say, oh no, I didn't know, underwriter this, like, sorry, loan officer, it's all right here in front of you. We pay for that software. Every one of our approvals comes with that already done. I did that all on the phone with them the other day. That's why a real pre-approval, I say, takes an hour and a half to get that all done and to go over the numbers and to make sure they're mentally ready. It takes an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's not a 5-minute or 10-minute deal. It's not a real pre-approval. So when we do that and we attach it to a property, it tells us on the spot, and it could only be with a conventional. This will never be with an FHA or VA. It tells us on the spot, appraisal waived, appraisal not waived. So when we're going to make the offer, the amount of offers we win, where we're going in with the offer with a waiver, and we send proof. We don't just say, hey, we think we're going to get a waiver. Here's the Fannie Mae approval, appraisal waived, accept my offer, please. And as long as the number is right, you still got to come correct with the offer. They're not going to just accept it. So you got to come correct with the amount, but you're going to edge everyone else out that's putting $50,000 guarantee, $20,000 guarantee, full guarantee. It's like, we don't even need an appraiser. Nobody needs to go into your home. We just got to do an inspection and call it a day.
You're saying to have them in touch with you as we're submitting an offer, and you could potentially have this for that property?
100%. And ideally, what we shoot for, it's not always perfect just because of timing sometimes. Ideally, if someone's available, any one of us, we're going over numbers on that house that you're about to make an offer on, taxes, etc. Hey, buyer, this is what your future taxes are going to be, because we all know about the uncapping and all that. And boom, they're cool with it. We go ahead. Here's the offer. Here's the pre-approval. Go ahead and make the offer. Our real goal with that is to get them mentally ready for what they're about to offer on. Second goal, seeing if we get the appraisal waiver. And you guys would be surprised. You guys would be surprised how many offers we get an appraisal waiver on. With that being said, you could only get it on a conventional loan. They have to be putting at least 10% down. At least. Where are we usually getting them? High credit, 20% down. We got a lot. Yeah, we got a lot, and we win them. When I lose one of those, nothing infuriates me more.
20% down.
We usually win them.
Send them to you so we can waive this.
There we go. Yep.
So you don't need appraisal guarantee, you get appraisal waiver.
It's an offer guarantee. It's even better. Even better.
Your client buyers too.
You never know the value unless the buyer hires their own private appraiser after they buy it.
Well, it's,
That's what's helped.
did it rebuy for a friend? The FHA came back like $50,000.
Sure, it did. Yep.
$50,000 difference. Yeah. And I'm like, where is this FHA appraiser coming up with this from?
So Shayla's a firm believer against FHA values. That's it.
They've just done rebuy
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah, because they're so nitpicky, FHA guidelines.
Yeah.
Premium. It's just, conventional is more lenient. It's the ideal way to go if you can.
So like we said, we'll push them to the conventional if they're able to get it done. If they can't, that's when we're going to FHA. So we run it, we get the answer. And as long as one of us are available, we could do it. If it's the weekend, that's where it gets a little tricky. But usually we all have our computers at home. We all have our laptops. We dock at the office, we take them home. As long as someone's available, we can figure it out.
What's needed to do that? Assuming that this is already a person I put in touch with you.
Yeah.
That's been pre-approved. Are we just contacting you and identifying, here's the property address, here's the purchase price?
Jazz, you wanted to answer?
Yeah, I want to say, we're always going to be trying to do that. So even though in order to see where the value is going on the home, if we end up seeing that, hey, like, our system is telling us it's closer to this amount, let's try it with the AUS and see
if that happens, then we're gonna try to offer it that way. Like, hey, we have an appraisal waiver, but it's this value. Let's say like offers are already 20,000 above, but I have an appraisal waiver at the actual amount of what is being offered.
I'm going to elaborate on a point she's bringing up. I'm happy she brought it up. But to answer your question, all we need, text us the address and the listing price and what you guys intend on offering. That's all we need from you. If we already have them pre-approved, we already have everything else, you know? And we go and check. But reminder, we want that on every offer, but to try to get the waiver, it's got to be conventional, at least 10% down.
Okay, one more question about
Yep.
that. Time frame on if it's a new buyer that I'm putting you guys in touch with.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming that they have everything to get you in touch,
We're-
or to get you to get that.
On average, it's 1 to 2 days. If we're lucky, like Shayla sent me a deal the other day, I got it done on the same night, but I happened to be working all night that night. I got it done in the same night, you know? So 1 to 2 days, we should get it done.
And
1 to
if
2
it's an
days.
extreme rushing, I'm gonna use Becca for example with our client, right? She called me, he already found a house, and first time getting in contact, within what, an hour, 2 hours max, I had the answer for them with their pre-approval. She just gave me his number, I got in contact with him, literally everything. He sent me all the documents I needed, Social Security, ran it, did everything.
Jeff, I'm gonna put you in a group text with one or two, me and 1 or 2 of our girls, because I know you reached out to me 2 days ago, right? And sometimes if I'm not available to get it, one of them will get it right away. So at least it's easier for me at night to just call and actually make it happen, you know? So we'll get that done
If you
too.
let us know like, hey, there's multiple, but they really are interested, we will get it done right then and there. Just let us know.
Yeah.
To go back to what Terry was saying, the 1 to 2, but like if it's an urgent matter, like, you know, with our client, it was urgent, got it done on the spot.
Yes. Yep.
I did want to add, like, I'm not sure how other brokers are, because I'm sure you've had clients who haven't been pre-approved yet, but when it comes to us, and I'm sure other agents would vouch for that, typically if there is an appraisal that has to be done, it's within 30 days that we have a closing for the purchase. But if you have a client that is looking to get, like, sell their home really, really, really fast, and there's an appraisal waiver that we found for this person, that's a 10 to 15 day closing for us. Like I said, I don't know how other brokers are, but it will literally take us like 10 to 15 days because the appraisal we have everything already done when they're pre-approved, like already documents like collected, like it's really just that when we have the offer accepted, everything's being registered within 24 hours and that closing is within like 15 days. So if you have a seller who's really, really looking to sell their home within that time frame, like it's possible. Just make sure you guys are looking out, hey, is there an appraisal waiver? It's gonna happen within that time.
And we already average 17 to 20 days in general. If it's a waiver, it's faster. And we say that, hey, we want to close in 20 days or less. As long as we close within 30, we think everyone's happy. I don't think anyone's complaining you're closing past within 30 days. But we like to close as fast as possible regardless, get it off everyone's plate. Jasmine and Mara brought up the example of tweaking it to get the appraisal waiver. Sometimes we might, like, if this is why I want to know what offer you're making as well. You might be offering this. We put 10% down, no appraisal waiver. But if we put 15% down and we see, because we already have their assets, they have it, and 15% down or 20 or 25% down gets the waiver, we've been in situations, there's one of Sylvia's referrals we had in the summertime where the guy wanted to put 10% down and he had the assets. Mara's example is the more assets we put sometimes to get the appraisal just by showing they have a 401k. Sometimes it's like not a higher down payment. You got $100,000 in reserves, appraisal waiver. I don't argue with it. We just run it, and if it gives it to us, we use it, right? So I convinced Sylvia's referral to go from 10% down to 20% down because that was giving him the appraisal waiver. We won the offer immediately. Luckily, it was someone we knew. The example saying the relationship with the listing agent. When we gave it to him and we showed him the proof of the appraisal waiver, he accepted the offer right away. It was literally within an hour. We're done.
What was
So.
the price difference, do you remember? Like, how much over did they come in that the listing agent said, done deal, you guys won?
The exact over, I don't remember, but if I'm going based off the price range and what I usually recommend, it was most likely 15 to 20 over, and in this case, it was a guarantee in the form of an appraisal waiver. So you guys got to understand the beauty of the appraisal waiver. It's no risk to the client. It's not all cut, it's no risk. The lender's giving us the money based off your down payment, and that's it. So it works. When we get it, and you tell the client, we tell the buyer, hey, instead of putting a guarantee and now you have to put more money down because the value came short, put more money down. The lender's telling you the value's there and secure your offer. You're still putting more money down either way.
Why would they do that in the first place? That's what I'm not understanding about. You get these 10% down conventional buyers that are putting, like my buyers right now, you know, there was a 10% conventional with 25% appraisal guarantee. Why would they be putting 20% down to begin with
They probably just
You
don't
know,
know.
They haven't spoken with Connect Loans. That's why.
And we don't know
I'm
either,
I'm
so.
still working on that. I'm still working.
There
on
we
that.
go. You know, feel free to.
I had one last year that it was an appraisal waiver and they accepted our offer. And we only came in $15,000 over. That's why I wanted to ask you, like, how much significantly did it come in? Because as long as you have that appraisal waiver.
What kind was it? I don't remember how much it came in.
Yours?
Yeah, which one was
It
it?
was your best friend's brother. Go ahead and look at it.
My best friend's brother?
Yeah, it was Mike. Mike.
Oh, I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
Look, I was my best.
I'm trying. Yeah. I'm trying to keep names out of it.
My sisters and I mean, I have a lot of referrals. There you
Yeah.
go. Let's talk about today.
I was just gonna think you had a lot of friends. So I was like, which best friend?
in regards to the call that I
I'm telling her you said that happened. God.
The call that I made to you with regards to the client that we're talking about, you know, that agent, again, I know you were and all that.
Yeah.
He basically told me, if you tell me an offer's gonna come in from Terry, from your buyer, I will wait and take that offer.
Nice.
You know.
Thank
but,
you.
You know, she just couldn't get it done, you know. I
Yes.
guess Things going in time.
Yeah, we'll get that done today 100%. 100%. I appreciate it as well. So, and that's where I'm going to add again for all of you. Please don't just text or call me. Please include one of the girls that you guys already know in our office. That's how it's going to get done. That's just the truth of it, okay? It doesn't mean I'm not going to do anything or not going to work on it. It's going to move forward because of them. They're going to get it in front of me. They say, Jeff said this is urgent. Boom, Terry, like what you're working on right there is not as important as this. They'll put it in my face, and we work on it and we get it done.
Just call me and say I'm doing
There you go.
Terry's like Donald
Make it a
Trump.
group text with me.
If you can get a hold of Donald Trump, you'll get a hold of Terry.
I'll take the compliment. I'll take the compliment. Anyone want to add anything in regards to appraisal waivers, guarantees? Anyone want to add any other questions or commentary? Okay, I'm going to show you guys something. Have you guys seen an actual Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac underwriting approval? I'm going to take that as a no. You're about to see one right now. We use this in our offers. Again, only if we know the realtor will be for it. If the realtor is a detailed person and would like to see something like this, we're going to show it to them. If by speaking with the realtor, it's like, they want it just as simple as possible, we're probably not going to show it to them. But if we think it's going to help our offer, we do. So, blocked out the name here. This is an actual Fannie Mae underwriting approval. Approve, eligible. This is, they put 10% down, so 90% loan to value. This is their debt ratio. This is their offer amount, $331,200, and that was their loan amount after they're 10% down. And we only show them this page. I blocked out the address and the name. That's for privacy reasons. Condo, etc. If there's an appraisal waiver, it'll say here, appraisal waiver. That's how we prove it to them. So that's a Fannie Mae approval. Again, depending on the realtor, we'll send our pre-approval, and you guys might send it without us, whatever we're out and about. We'll come back and reply. If it's that type of agent they think this would be valuable for, here you go. I'm probably not going to show this to a brand new agent. It's going to confuse the brand new agent. But someone who's seasoned and really, they called us, do you have an actual approval? They're asking us those types of questions, what they're supposed to do. Thank you for calling, Mr. Realtor. Boom, here's a pre-approval letter. Here's our actual approval. Please accept my offer. And that convo goes a long way. The convo goes a long way. So that's a Fannie Mae version. Curious, have any of you seen that before?
No.
Let me show you the Freddie Mac version before I ask you the question. Freddie Mac, same idea, right? Approved, accept the green stuff, right? Check marks. This is an approval, blocked out the name. This guy is moving to Ballers Boulevard. It was a pre-approval, so we had no real address. 10% down, 27% debt ratio, 40% total ratio, etc. All done. So if there was an appraisal waiver, it would say right here, appraisal waiver. And I could point that out to them. So my question to you is, if you're questioning the viability of a pre-approval, and you receive two offers that are similar, and you're getting a phone call from the loan officer, and you're questioning whether all these offers are actually approved, and you receive this one, where it shows you an actual approval, once you know what that is, the chances of our offer getting accepted goes up. We've all made offers together. If you guys have seen this before, that means we thought it would be helpful to that realtor, to the other realtor, not to you. If you haven't seen it before, then that means we didn't think it would be helpful. So it all depends on the offer, who that realtor is. So that's where you guys would come in. Hey, I really want you to show the approval to this one, like the actual approval. Or we just keep it simple. Again, how we present our offer is going to decide whether it gets accepted. That's another value that we provide. Any questions? Going once, going twice? Anyone on the team? Anyone? You guys want to add anything to our pre-approvals, pre-approval letters, underwriting? All right.
Oh, I
You
will
good?
say that, I personally, when I was looking for houses, I was very upset when a listing agent told me to send him a
I'm about to
pre-approval.
do one more thing on there, but I appreciate it.
If
Yeah.
you guys were to do that, I fully respect it. I was like, it was more of like because I'm the loan officer and I'm like, well, of course, I have a pre-approval. Like, I wouldn't be looking for this house, but then I got to thinking, and I'm like, honestly, if every single realtor were to do that, or every single real estate agent were to do that, we'd be way better off. And also, right now, like, you can always, you know that we're gonna have one prepared for your clients. You guys are gonna save you so much more time for your own clients as well. And, you know, we end up getting a lot more of those clients because we seem to be one of the only brokers that were to do that. But yeah.
Very good. Very good. I'm going to push this another 10 minutes. It's 1:37. We went over the time. I'm going to push this another 10, 15 minutes just to wrap up the last part. So we're getting to the end here. I'm going to show you one more thing of ours. We have our pre-approval, which you guys have seen. It's our pre-connection letter, branded as ours. Every pre-approval is an approval that will close. We have another one that we're calling a Spark approval. I was promoting it heavily a few months ago. I'm going to get back to promoting it. A Spark approval is, in a nutshell, I'm going to give you the streamlined version and then just give you a little details on it. One of these. What are we guaranteeing on this? What is it? I'm sorry?
You're guaranteed that catering.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Right. Electrolyte. We got electrolytes. So what are we guaranteeing? We're guaranteeing it's a strong offer and it's speed. There's some deals that we pre-approve. We all know it's not going to be a strong offer. It's not going to be fast. It just requires, the client might require more time. I won't send it as that type of strong branded approval. Whenever we do have one of those, it's an appraisal waiver, or we have a strong offer, or we're going to close fast as house. One of those three items, at least one of those three items that we could guarantee, we're going to send that as a Spark approval. The listing agent is going to receive, hopefully, if time permits, a personal phone call from me, regardless of what any of the other girls made a phone call, and they're going to receive that quick 20-second video. On the ones that we have done, it's given us value to edge out deals, because sometimes it says, what is this? Tell me more. We've earned a realtor or two from that so far as well. So that's an additional item. Does anyone have any questions on that?
I do know, I can attest to you, for a buyer that I'm working with myself.
Yeah.
Terry called the listing agent and the listing agent told me, like, I really like your broker. We're trying to vouch for your offer, but it still didn't work out. But thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's very impressive, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah. Thank you. Sylvia was going to say something?
I found out that house, it was actually listed for $550. We went in at $550 with the appraisal guarantee, which is the waiver, and they accepted.
So it was asking
That was in August
with a
of
waiver.
2021, so I mean, it was a hot time,
Yeah.
but we got it.
Yep. The other beautiful thing with the waiver that we forgot to mention is, if the lender is telling us waive, that means the lender is saying the house is worth it. So the buyer can say all they want that it's overpriced, but you know what? The market may be overpriced. But in this overpriced market, the lender is saying the house is going to appraise for this amount or higher. They're saying for sure this amount or higher. They're not saying less. Otherwise, they wouldn't guarantee our loan.
What is the chance they go back on that after the fact?
There is a chance. The odds are slim. If it's with us, the odds, it hasn't happened to us, let's put it that way. He said, basically, could the appraisal waiver go away? If you want to answer, go ahead.
So I mean, this is a perfect example of me and Sandra working on a deal where we always run our own AUS. We have our own,
Our own underwriting.
Our own underwriting, we run it and we have it. So, Sandra submitted the file, she comes back and she's like, they're conditioning us for an appraisal, and I'm like, wait, what? I pull up the file, they're using their own underwriting, and their underwriting, when they pulled it, now they have a new case number, shows that it's not an appraisal waiver. So we went back into our file, and I'm like, we're gonna release our findings to the lender, and now they have to use the finance. We're a broker, we can only start financing them. And the appraisal waiver stuck and file got closed.
To answer some of the technical parts there, just like how a credit report has a reference number, our version of our underwrite has a reference number. Use ours, synchronize the credit with ours. There's something we did that was different, and we got the appraisal waiver. To go deeper into your question,
So how did it go from, the file to the other? That's where you lost me at. Was it, did they end up switching lenders?
the lender will pull their own underwrite. We can make them use our reference number. We can make them use our original underwriting file.
So we
Yep.
can release our underwrite to them, so now they have full access of our underwrite, and then now we no longer have access to it.
Okay.
But right now, like, it was like a week later, let's say they pulled it, and now for whatever reason, the DU or LPA, Fannie or Freddie are not giving them the waiver, when ours still is, because whatever happened a week ago was still giving it to us, and it still is now, so it's still valid.
We'll fight it.
Has there ever been a time where it's a high risk after accepted offer? Like if there's an appraisal waiver, but then through underwriting, because underwriting is where you get the clear and close or whatever. Has there ever been a situation where it would be a high risk?
Because of the appraisal waiver? I'm going to answer both of your questions. Add more to what she said and to answer your question. No. If they're giving us a waiver and everything's the same as how we underwrote it, nope. That means they're saying we think it's not as risky and we're going to waive it. If metrics change, let's say we said that we got the appraisal waiver because we said they have $50,000 in a 401k, therefore he has reserves, therefore we got the appraisal waiver. And for some reason it came back where he only has $20,000 in his 401k, or he just used it, and now we don't have the appraisal waiver anymore. That can happen. And or we got the appraisal waiver at 20% down, and for some reason they change their mind, they're going to put 15% down. That can happen. So if a metric changes, that can happen. It's very rare, though. Again, with Connect Loans, if we're issuing it, even an FHA deal, no matter what it is, we vetted the deal to where we're doing our best to keep the buyer in line with how we pre-approve them. The moment they want to deviate from that, we rerun their deal and we update everyone. There's no more appraisal waiver. There's no more this, no more that. They're not even approved anymore if this is what they want to do, right? I'm sorry.
Buy a car, like I went and bought all this furniture for on credit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you're not approved anymore, man.
well,
So,
now you're not approved.
so can it happen? Yes. I don't remember when. I don't even remember when the last time it happened.
I wanted to add that
With
one
us.
example, when we got the appraisal waiver because we lowered their front end DTI to a 45.5. So that's how they got their appraisal waiver. That's like you literally go to a 45.6 and they no longer have that.
So to elaborate for what she's saying, let's say you call us, hey, Terry, you get an appraisal waiver on this home. We put it in, 20% down, no appraisal waiver. Well, we could tweak her deal. What if Becca paid off this car? She only got a $2,000 balance left on it. It's $500 a month payment. What if she just paid it off at closing? What if she paid off her American Express at $300 a month and it brought her debt ratio down so much to where she's now less risky, to Stephanie's point, less risky, appraisal waiver now. There's so many different ways for us to get it. I just know the minimum things that got to be there. Minimum is conventional. Minimum is 10% down. We play with the file from there to get the appraisal waiver on that offer. And you guys would be surprised when we go with the buyer, especially if they're hungry for the home they want, be surprised what they're willing to do once we get them to that acceptance point of trying to win on their home. So we could make things happen.
Can you get somebody pre-approved right now without tax returns and just based on 1099s if they have a file?
Yeah, but we'd have to talk more about that separately.
Okay.
Yes.
The last thing I wanted to add is this is why we like to partner closely with our insurance agents, because when it comes to we're using an estimate for their quote, and if this is the estimate that they have to have, sometimes they're gonna have to work around with their quote in order for it to match this price that they're looking for. And it's really helpful to have, I talked to Lou a couple days ago, and he had already mentioned the importance of the DTI, if we have to match it and make sure that it match their debt is make sure it works out. He's willing to work with us. The questions that he's asking is about how can I maneuver this quote so that I can make this file really work. So you can be sure to know that we have those those insurance agents that are willing to do that, so that those problems wouldn't come up. You probably wouldn't even find out about that coming up because we get to it right away.
So Lou, $1,800 a year is killing our deal. $1,500 a year doesn't kill our deal. Could you make that happen at closing? Whatever way he can make that happen, whether it's a higher deductible, no matter what he's got to do, it doesn't matter to us. Can he make it happen at closing? The answer is yeah, and we've prepared the buyer to say your real plan is going to go up to $1,800 or $2,000 based off the real plan you wanted later. If Lou's able to make that happen, he can make that happen.
Yeah, automatically change coverage. A lot of times the insurance company won't make a change first 30 or 90 days of the policy being done. So they gotta be okay with higher deductible, maybe not having the water backup as high, you know, not having the other endorsements that, you know, you would recommend but not have on there. And you can make a 20-30% difference in premium just by stripping down some of the extras from a policy. A lot of people think house insurance is for every little thing that happens. House insurance is for when the house blows up. That's what it's for. Okay, not when, you know, a pipe burst and you got $1,000 loss. You know, you got a $5,000 deductible for a reason, so that you don't have those claims. So as long as the buyer is okay with those adjustments, we can always make a 20-30% adjustment in premium.
I want to ask you one question. That's one way of handling it. The other way, let's say they originally wanted your original quote.
Yeah.
That wasn't more expensive. And we tweak it whatever way to make it that $1,500 at closing.
Yeah.
And as long as they're okay with changing it back to the real quote they wanted later, a month later, 2 months later, is that something that is possible?
Depends on insurance companies. Some insurance companies will do it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Some will make you wait the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
Some will make you wait 90 days or whatever.
So we
if
could
it's a
present
matter
that
of
to
the
you.
company, then I look at the company rules and say, okay, this is when we can change it.
Got it. So we present it to you, and you would come back and say, yeah, just so you know, when we're in that situation, we would have already updated the buyer that
Yeah.
they will be changing it back to it later. So they're not like, oh, it's going to stay at this $1,500 a year. Because rarely we're in that situation, but it does come up.
You know, it's up to the buyer if
Yeah.
they want to eventually not change it.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay the more money or whatever happens.
Of course.
Happens, you know, we'll deal with that.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. All right. Any other questions in regards to these offers? Our quality of our underwriting, quality of our pre-approvals, et cetera. Anything want to add anything?
I'll add something. As a loan officer, it makes me feel like more confident when we have that AUS and everything because, you know, I don't want to come back and say after you guys put an offer on a home and everything and say, hey, realtor, hey, buyer, sorry, I messed up on this. This is not a real approval. You guys are not really approved. But because we go above and beyond, it makes it easier for me to be like, okay, we're done. 15 days, 20 days, 30 days, you know, whatever it is, depending on the situation. So I love the AUS.
The AUS is the automatic underwriting. So, and this is any LO that's out there blaming anything on underwriting or the underwriter, sorry, it's them. Unless it was a short value or repairs or this or that, it's them. This is something that could have been foreseen. When it does happen, we admit it, but fortunately a lot of people don't like, they just blame it elsewhere, you know? So that's that. We're gonna wrap it up here. The last part I wanna touch on is, obviously a lot of the stuff we've been talking about, you guys have heard me all say it before, our promise of quality, transparency, and speed. Quality meaning whatever we do, we're gonna do it the right way. Transparency meaning good news or bad news, you're gonna know about it, the client's gonna know about it. And speed, we're gonna go fast as can be done for the person's scenario, right? We're gonna go fast. 2, we believe ourselves to be not just the best, but believe ourselves to be a reputable brand, meaning the deals we work on together, you will find that not only are we getting more referrals from them, but they come back, the same client will come back to us for their invested property and or their future property or their brother's property. Like we keep them in our ecosystem. And if we do get a deal that was yours, and for some reason they talked to us first, you're getting that referral right back. You're getting that referral right back. It's not going anywhere. I don't care who we like more or not, who just sent us 10 deals, it doesn't matter. If that is a client that we're working on and you sent it to us originally, you're getting some sort of benefit from it, no matter what. No matter what. So we believe our experience provides return business and to where they want to leave you a testimonial and to where we get referral business from those same people. That is it. That's all I got. So the floor is anyone who wants to add anything at all. Twice? Sold. All right. Thank you all. Yes, there we go. Thank you all for coming. Obviously, we still have everything there. You guys all have a swag bag on your desk, and you have an appraisal gift card. So whoever you want to use that for, a client to refinance, to buy a home, whatever it is, you give it to that person. We're going to pay for their appraisal. Additionally, we have a mini soccer ball, a mini football. You could choose one. And then we have a t-shirt, a Connect t-shirt. We have all different sizes in there. Choose one. Each one of you guys add it to your bag as well. Yep.
Shopping. Our storefront.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Terry.
Thank you all for coming.
Terry.
Thank you.